Alright, so let me put this in perspective, what kind of hate that we were dealing with. When I was at Candace's and I was going to take those pictures off her wall so that people wouldn't be able to see where I was at exactly. She said, no, it's fine. And then I want to say it was within 10 minutes, but it was probably within about 45 minutes, I suppose. I don't know. But within just a short amount of time of me making that video with those pictures still on the wall, the ones that say love and hope and all that, she had a picture of her old living room posted up in one of those Natalie Facebook groups. And so she shut her Facebook down. She should have made a report about that. Now, as quick as they were able to get that, that means that there were people coordinating in Chapel, Nebraska with these people to try to let them know where I was at all points in time. Yes, that fucking freaked me out. And then, freaked her out too. She wouldn't make a police report though. She said it was no big thing. Started talking about if somebody came through her door, she'd shoot him between the eyes with a .45. That's definitely not something I wanted to hear while I was there. So my panic attacks, they go from me holding in everything that I need to say because the people that it needs to be said to, it doesn't get to be said to. And that's the problem with a situation like this. No closure. There's no closure for the Bollingers in this. There's no closure for Alicia in this. There's no closure for Rose in this. There could be, if they came forward and told the truth and asked these people to stop and help me to fight the Boulder Police Department and the Adams County Police Department for the things that they pulled. Now, after seeing what some of Natalie's other relatives had to say about Miss Shelley, yeah, it was definitely wrong of me to speak to her or try to trust her at all. She's a dishonest woman. In the name of Jesus, amen. So for me, it goes in waves. It's me having a severe panic attack. There's something important that needs to be said to the police. They need to stop and look at the evidence, understand that I'm disabled. I'm showing them the best way that I know how. And in most cases, the only way that I know how. Please help. A disabled person is being harmed, and instead of you recognizing that you as a mandatory reporter, you with the badge, and doing your fucking job, well, you ignore him. Treat him like he's crazy. Drive him off to a nuthatch. Have him injected with medications. That'll teach him. That'll teach you to be crazy in my county. No, I'm overwhelmed. There's more than one story from Teresa Massilia. I am certain that people have sent her about their experiences. Some of them, they were probably hysterical when they got out of the Boulder Police Department. Some of them were probably hysterical just talking to the police to begin with. Like, you're literally going through a fucking traumatic as shit experience. And the fucked up thing about Boulder was, for all those days that I was being threatened and harassed and assaulted, and the police were just fucking hounding on me there, like, that's all obstructing me from being able to do the things that Detective Jai Rogers and Detective Mark Peterson had asked me to do. It's an obstruction of justice. By the time January 6th rolled around, I mean, oh my God, I was in contact with Danica Garner because of Karamia. Danica Garner later got me in contact with Shelley Campbell. Karamia was also the one who recorded the conversation with Jaylin. All of our conversations and all of our texts, they're all admissible in court. This harassment and these people working together and the things that they did, yeah, it's... A lot of the people that I had to deal with are career criminals. Karamia apparently is supposed to be one, according to Layla Johnson, who I think is full of shit. I mean, the massive quantities of head games out of people who are supposing to help me, or playing head games and sending me money. And then, because they sent me money, I owe it to them to play into their head games. I've been dealing with head games over what happened to Natalie since before it happened to Natalie. So then, after I have a severe panic attack, usually at night, and it usually lasts all night. Last night was an all-nighter. I get like this, and then whether I'm tired or not is pretty well arbitrary. Sometimes I am just numb, and I can't sleep, and I'm exhausted and tired, and I'm just afraid and zombied about getting harassed by the police for sleeping in my vehicle in a parking lot. And sometimes I just pass out, and there's nothing I can do about it. So this is where your brain goes when you have exhausted all options and resources. When you can't get people to understand that without a safe environment, with all of these things going on, it deteriorates the brain. It deteriorates my ability to communicate. It deteriorates my ability to think and to communicate. I just want the pain to stop. The things that happen to me, I sleep, but when I do, I have nightmares, and there are things that happen to me. One of the worst nightmares that I have is where I have a dream where I'm in the Arapahoe County Jail, and I open my eyes and I'm in the Arapahoe County Jail. I have that one about Boulder as well. I remember talking threw a hole in the wall to the guy in the next cell over when I was in Boulder. I'm real. Because I'm real, people entrusted me with too much information, and I observed too much on my own. I'm able to figure out things that most people can't or don't. But also, I don't have a choice but to pay attention to it because it's my life that it's happening in. A lot of these people on the web sleuth groups, they're only looking for parts to make it look like I'm crazy, and I am now. From time to time, I do call people to ask them if events actually happened. And I call these people and they say, yeah, that actually happened. And I go, all right, I'm not crazy. So why won't these people take my report? It's because of the label. I asked everyone to kill me. I don't know how many times. I told everybody I wasn't going to keep their secrets, and I meant it. After Natalie died, I stopped giving a shit about your secrets and only gave a fuck about your safety. And you can kiss my ass. I wanted Natalie to be happy. But I needed people to leave me alone so I could see my loved ones. So I could see the people that make me happy. And I do make myself happy. The problem is that the world is too much for me. It's too overwhelming. It's too many expectations. I live to build things. I mean, I could build you the most beautiful things in miniature or in real life. Many different techniques. But, I don't get to do that now. I don't know how to explain better to you how physically or mentally screwed up I am. I've been trying to get help with this. I really have. I've been trying to get someone to understand that I need a safe environment. And I need someone who understands autism, who's not going to try to force me to normalize, because that kills me. Not being able to have Tourette syndrome because it makes people paranoid. Well, now I have to control my Tourette syndrome 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That way people don't get scared of me. Autism is the same way. I have to learn how to speak vocally in more than one tone. So it's something I practice. I practice my facial features too. I got myself pretty well trained to mostly express the emotions that I'm feeling, but it's because I didn't want to get treated like an autistic retard, which is basically the whole asshole terminology of it. People just assume you must be wrong because they heard something about autistic people, and I'm like, you're... So I hid my Tourette syndrome as much as I could. It was the most detrimental. It really was. I mean, people weren't gonna assume that I was on methamphetamines or crack or anything like that over autism. But over Tourette syndrome, yeah, they probably would, and they have many times. Without a safe environment, I don't want to scream, so I don't. I keep quiet. I take it, and I take it, and I take it, and I take it. At Shannon Alvarado's, I took it. The abuse wasn't directed at me, and it was just verbal. But it's scary. And there was things in every situation where it just made it impossible to do what it is I needed to do. But I kept on trying. Nobody's gonna do it for me, right? People offered to help me how I needed, but then how I needed was an honest day in court, and to be able to go down there and press charges against these officers without being threatened, harassed, intimidated, blown off, shoved off, arrested, or assaulted by their fellow officers. The cops didn't need to make it that complicated. It didn't need to be this way. The cops could have taken my report way back in 2016 in Chesapeake, Virginia, and they could have taken a written statement from me in Nebraska. And they could have taken a written statement from me in Colorado. I needed to know how to take screenshots. I needed to know how to... Like, my technical abilities are shit. I don't know how to explain that better to you. They're complete shit. I can kind of use Facebook, and I can kind of use YouTube.